All right.
All right.
So my name is George Payne, and I'm an IEM MPA student here at the Monterey Institute. I'll be graduating at the end of 2015. So I have this term, one more term in the fall, another term next spring, and then I go on practicum, and then I graduate.
Great. And if you want to start with telling us a little bit about your experience in Rwanda, maybe any site visits you had, or just anything that you really enjoyed about the trip.
Okay, the trip to Rwanda was incredible. I got a chance to participate with approximately 25 other students in Rwanda on the ground, working with an organization called Partners in Health, wherein we created a series of social marketing campaigns for them to implement at their leisure. So our specific group focused on creating a campaign for under 5 mortality, and other groups focused on HIV and AIDS or pregnant mothers, other specific aspects of really debilitating diseases and conditions that the Rwandan country is going through right now. So that was what we focused on, and the DPMI portion of it really allowed us to understand what it's like to manage a project or go through the motions of creating a timetable so that things are easily scheduled and understood by all the members of a team.
And anything in particular about maybe, I don't know if you guys met any people or did any site visits or like just anything about anything else about the experience?
So more specifically about what it was like to be in Rwanda and in accordance with the Rwandan DPMI program, we started off by getting a chance to understand the cultural nuances that we were going to be involved in for the rest of the week or the 2 weeks that we were there. So on the very first day, we went to the Gisozi Memorial, which is basically the Rwandan Genocide Memorial, and that kind of framed our context for who we're going to be speaking with, the people and their experiences prior to us having gotten there. Then from there, we got a chance to talk to a series of professionals who were involved in the peace and reconciliation efforts. So there were people who were involved in what they call the Gacaca, which is bringing 2 families or 2 people together, one wherein has wronged the other by some way, and they can come up with their own solution on the spot or over a series of conversations to alleviate that tension that's been fostered, especially during the genocide times when families would get turned against families and people who knew each other generally had done each other wrong. That was something we got a chance to understand. And then we got a series of visits with other really high-level professionals, which was pretty cool. We got a chance to visit the parliament on the same day. We got a chance to site visit with the Minister of Youth and Information Technology as much. We got a chance to meet with the Ministry of Education and the Ministry of Health. So a lot of different people from different fields, and they kind of all helped to inform what it was that we were doing on the ground.
Excellent. That sounds really interesting. So now if you want to mention anything about how you think you might be able to use these tools that you've learned in your career, or how you've already used them in class or anything like that.
All right, so so DPMI is very, very applicable. The very first class of the very first week, I got a chance to at least call upon some of the things that I knew that I had learned in the previous 2 weeks, especially in a class called Design and Assessment, wherein my IEM cohort is partnered with a series of clients who need a design assessment or monitoring and evaluation program to be developed for them. And so I think that the training from DPMI helped us to understand simple techniques and tools like log frames or problem trees and other appreciative inquiry type techniques to find solutions. And they were definitely it's seamless. Maybe not so much in like a language class, but definitely in design and assessment. Those very same principles come up when we talk about international organizations and global governance, which is another course I'm taking. And I think generally just as a human development kind of thing, you get a chance to, I personally have gotten a chance to use it in my work at the DLC, which has allowed me to kind of spearhead my own personal project, learn what it's like to create my own timetable and all of the various aspects and how to delegate. So I think the DPMI is spot on.
Perfect. And if you don't mind, you don't have to do this if you don't want, but just saying a tiny bit about your future career goals or what you want to do after you graduate.
All right, well, George Payne's career goes all over the place, all at the same time, always. But generally, I think that I would like to be involved in a courtesy of Amatai. I got like too many friends and good faces passing by in the hallways right now.
It's all good.
impossible
It's
to
perfect.
talk about myself.
We're all gonna we'll cut out these parts.
That's fine.
Amatai.
So, what I want to do with my life after this.
Wait, we can wait until they leave.
Oh yeah.
Do I?
Okay.
See, I'm not gonna pause it because I think if I pause it, it starts another video, right?
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, sweet. Alright, whenever you're ready.
So what I want to do with my career after being here at MIS has everything to do with education first, which is the first half of my concentration here, and the second half has to do with learning how to do development work. So the combination between those two things will hopefully allow me to create programming that will enable primary school children to communicate with each other in their native languages so they can teach each other languages, and we can cut out us older middle peoples, because I think that we add things to to children's education when it has to go through us as a medium. So if they were to speak directly to one another, then they can solve their own communication issues without us being in the middle of it. So that's the idea, especially between the United States and the Middle East and African countries.
That's brilliant.
That's the idea.
Is it okay if I stop the video? Is there anything else you want to add?
Much love. Peace out.